And can that movement break be valuable? Like, let's say they are asking to go to the bathroom because they just need to stretch their legs. I mean, is there value in allowing for that movement break? Like, maybe it's not just, I just don't want to be in class. Maybe it is like, I need to move.
Well, after a while, I think I got to accept it. I got to accept it, and what I would do is, as a form of transition to another activity, I would tell them, okay, let's get up. Everybody get up. We sing a little song. We stretch our legs. We move about. We do something. I would go as far as telling them, okay, everybody, we're going to make one round around the school and then come back in. Okay. Just to see, because like you said, I know it may not be a case where I just don't want to sit through your lesson, because you could see sometimes that, okay, most of them, for the most part, are enjoying what is happening.
Yeah.
But then you have some little ones who just, for some reason, they need to get up. They need to. So
in this age, we can see that they can't sit still, right? They have a very difficult time with it. There's something about just the stage of development, I guess, where they need to constantly be moving. They've got all that energy they've got to expand. And I think what the research says with movement breaks and brain breaks and such is that, like, taking in oxygen, like the fact that you're taking that walk around, you're taking the big breaths, you're getting oxygen to your brain, and that actually helps you to sort of think better, think more clearly. That's where a lot of the breathing techniques, like breathe in, breathe out, come from, is you're filling that brain with oxygen that it needs so that it can be a little bit more focused.
Yes. Now, as a teacher in the classroom, the challenge to that is you find yourself wondering, but why is it that Jack, John, and Mark don't have to go? I mean, the thought comes.
Right.
You do correct yourself and say, well, you know what? All of them are not the same.
Yep.
You understand?
Yep.
But the thought will still come because you're there trying to do this thing, and three of them want to go. Sometimes you're convinced that, okay, it's because you saw your friend go out that you want to go too. I have gone as far as telling them, you know what? Do not come to ask me to leave the classroom unless you really, really have to go. And I'll be able to tell if you really, really have to go. At the back of my mind, I'm saying, okay, I mean, how can you really, But then the innocence in them, they will come and say, Miss, I really have to go, and then you say, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, I mean, we say that just to try to get a little bit of control and structure, but we don't hold them to it. I mean, I cannot see myself refusing a child who has come to me asking to go out. I will not do that. And I would not encourage anybody to do that, right?
Right.
Yes, but sometimes,
Right. We almost have to get comfortable with letting go of control because we can't have complete control, right? We think that a good teacher walks into their classroom, tells the students what to do, everybody listens, they're quiet, they're working. And nothing ever goes wrong once you become a master teacher. And anybody who's mastered the art of teaching can tell you things always go wrong. It doesn't matter how good you get. There's always going to be that one kid that throws a pencil or does this or whatever it is. There's always something.
Always. No matter how you try, no matter what you put in place, there's always that one who I think is there to teach you. There's always a lesson every year. There's one who's there to teach you, to get you stronger, to build you, to help you find new ways, of tackling those little issues. Yes.
They keep you humble.
Yes.
So what do you do to kind of prepare for those ones that are going to teach you? Because you kind of know ahead of time, right? You're in grade K, so you talk to the pre-K teacher. You kind of know what to expect from the kids that are going to be coming over next year. And you know that, like, the pre-K teacher has told you, this kid over here, he's going to give you a run for your money. So what do you do for that kid? Do you do anything now to prepare for when he comes next year?
Actually, Mr. Blaine, I think it's a case where when they get to you, then you know exactly what might work, what will not work. Because what worked for the child who was similar to this one last year, you may find it's just not working for this one.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's almost a case of trial and error. You know, you're trying little things. Of course, you use those little things that have been, you know, said to work. You've seen them work sometimes, but it's always work in progress.
Yeah.
What I try to do when I get them, I try to give them little roles. You know, so yes, you're in charge of making sure that the desk, the furniture remains in order. You know, when you give them those little roles, they feel so empowered. So they now are checking on everybody who's doing the same things that they're doing, you know. But because they have that role, now it works well sometimes until they get tired of the role maybe, and then feel it's like something else comes, and then you now have to find another way. You know. Interestingly, when these children are not at school, you miss them terribly. Those same ones that are giving you a hard time when they're there, when they're away, it's like you just, by the time you stand in front of the class, okay, this person is not here today, you know, because they keep you on your toes. You find the little things to give them to do. Can you give out these papers for me, please? You know, I have a note to send over to Teacher Jessica. Can you take that to Teacher Jessica? I mean, you don't abuse them throughout the day, but you know, you give them those little roles to empower them, minimize all of the disruption and everything, you know, to keep them guided, keep them focused, keep them there.
And I think that's it. You're not abusing them or using them as like cheap labor. What you're doing is giving them responsibility. Because part of that acting out might come from the fact that like nobody ever gives me responsibility, nobody trusts me, whatever. And when you trust them, all of a sudden they're gonna live up to that trust, and they're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna do this, right? Because I want to be somebody that can